Oh, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another exclusive episode from MyGigsters. And if you're listening for the first time, I'm your host, Benjamin, and also the CEO and founder of MyGigsters. And this podcast is just for you who are anyone in the gig economy, freelancing, side hustle, sole trader, creative freelancers. This is a podcast that you would love to listen to hear about what's happening in the gig world. Now, like many episodes that we have recently produced, this is another episode where we've invited an amazing personality, an individual, and also a community leader in many ways to join us on the show and talk about the story and the journey of what she's doing, why she's doing, where she's heading, and all of that. I'm super excited because I've known this person for a while now and we've been following her, stalking her mainly, and getting to know her more and more. With no further ado, I'd love to introduce you to Amy Marshall, who is also the CEO and founder of Create Crowd, which is a really happening place for all creative freelancers across Australia. It's a very humble yet loving community that they have that empowers each other to be more purposeful, but also very impactful towards the things that they're doing. So, Amy, welcome to the Geek Pod.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me on.
We'll straight away dive into one of the first things I want to ask you, right?
Mhm.
Now, everybody has an origin story. Like, a hero is not made in a day. There is always a story for the hero or the heroine. So you're the main character of Create Crowd. But where did this start? Why did you even what's the origin story?
It goes back to one of my first gigs in advertising, which was absolutely the most exciting job I'd ever had. I had sort of done a lot of hospitality work in my youth, and then in my early 20s, I sort of got my first professional job and was in a large agency in Adelaide, one of the leading ones. And it just opened my eyes to the creative industry, which I absolutely loved. I just fell in love with it. And it started my journey for the sort of next like 18 years in creative industries in Sydney and in Adelaide, both in film and television and marketing and advertising roles, all varying, positions and roles in different companies, but always passionately excited working alongside and with the creative people in the industry. So I felt very fortunate and very inspired and connected with the creative people that I met along my way. And then the last 10 years I was in a agency producer role, and that was producing all across all mediums: digital, print, online, television, commercial, radio commercials. So I guess I ended up growing a huge freelancer network because we often needed to bring in people with really specific skills or television
Yep.
crews. And over that time, it just became apparent to me how much I loved connecting with a huge amount of people with different skills. Everyone inspired me. Everyone, it
Nice.
didn't matter what they did, if they were passionate and creative and you know brought something amazing to the table. I loved being around them. So often that ended up being freelancers that had come on board. So I guess personally I grew my own database over that time, and then as I sort of transitioned out of my full-time work and started thinking about what my next step was, Create Crowd had been bubbling away for a little while.
Nice.
Yeah, so I mean that was sort of the journey of getting to the idea of knowing what I wanted to do. Along with, I'd previously had a business, and surprisingly in my 30s didn't realize how much I loved, I guess, messing around with what was available in the tech, what you could do on your own. So I didn't know that until I started, my first business, and realizing how much you could do with the incredible platforms and tools
Yep.
that you had
Yep.
around you to sort of implement on your own. Everything seemed so, I guess, easy once you got your head around it. So I actually really enjoyed building my platform and building app that we have, which is all my own user flow, and then also hooking that up from a marketing point of view to database and creating user journeys. And yeah, so that has been a really exciting part of building Create Crowd and building my own businesses as well. So
Nice. One of the things that has changed is the definition of or the evolution of creative economy.
Mhm.
Now it's actually an economy by itself. I'm sure in your time of starting as an agency or a producer and working through the creative industry and then being connecting with freelancers across the industry, how have you seen today's broad spectrum of creative economy? Now we have a lot of other participants in this economy and a lot of other freelancers who bring unique skills to this zone. What are some of the insights that you have from a broader, let's say, the whole creative economy space? Because one of the recent articles, even in Australia and across the globe, we estimate this to be a few $100 billion industry.
Mhm.
And even the South Australian government has prefaced this that this is one of the important industries to support as a growing industry to actively look at. So, what's from your journey as a freelancer slash creative slash now running the community at Create Crowd? What's some of your insights that you're seeing in the space?
Well, I guess one that is really interesting to me, and it's going to make me sound a little bit old, but my journey in a career, from, I guess when I started sort of 20, 25 years ago now, gratefulness I felt for having a job
Mm,
was, I guess that was generation that I came from. And I think, I always felt incredibly lucky to have a job, and I owed stuff to my employer, and I guess worked late and did whatever I could because it was such an honor to be able to work in the creative space. And I think that was a general feeling a long time ago. I love and support and am excited to see, now the younger generation be a lot more sure about
mhm.
what they want and their value, and I guess what they want out of their career. And it's not so one-sided. Like
Yep.
in my experience, that's how it felt for me. I mean, I loved it, but it certainly feels like the younger generation coming through are evening that out a little bit. So freelancers, have more power, I feel like, than they've ever had before. And, what comes with that is, the confidence to find your space, know your value and know your worth, be able to, when you get sort of successful enough, pick and choose how you work and the hours that you do. So I guess I love seeing that come through, and I've seen that a lot. Advertising is, quite a young
Mm,
industry, and a lot of the creative people in the industry generally younger that I've come across. So it's interesting, and I get that really excites me. So I
nice.
feel like that, new wave of people coming through and knowing what they want and what they're willing to do and how they want to live their life and the balance
Nice.
that they have is really exciting.
What's very interesting is this morning I came across this article saying that Gen Z are more embracing of the format of gig economy. When I say gig economy, it's not just writing things and delivering things. It's about just be able to work for anyone at any time and anywhere and be able to offer their skills um, at a more flexible,
Mm,
more autonomous way.
yeah.
Like any growing, fast evolving space, which is, we talk about freelancing and side hustling and creative economy, all of the above. What is, from your experience, some of the maybe highlight two key challenges that you saw or experienced as a freelancer yourself,
Mhm.
and what would that be?
Well, definitely the absolute reality of a challenge of a freelancer is, being able to manage and plan for income.
Mm,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah,
So, I mean, that you have to be prepared for that, and there's no way around that, I guess, and with that, you have to be prepared to, hustle and market yourself. And I think it doesn't matter how skilled you are if you don't talk to people and connect and put yourself out there, no one knows you exist. So
yeah.
I think they're the two challenges, that sort of go hand in hand. If you're not, making yourself visible, no one can find you, and then the income doesn't come. So I guess that challenge of overcoming, taking a deep breath, and making sure that you're not shy about your skills and
Yep.
self-worth and putting yourself out there was a challenge early on. As a producer, I'm usually behind, been behind the scenes, so bringing that forward and kind of making those connections myself and marketing Create Crowd, and also being the sole employee of
Yeah.
Create Crowd and face of, but also, managing my money,
Yes.
which is why I love, our relationship's been great, because I think my Gigsters are really doing great things to be a tool that can, help people that are not that way minded plan for, being able to have longevity in a freelancer space. Yeah, I guess that was
Nice.
certainly a challenge.
I'm sure you're drawing all of these experience, and that's been instrumental to you creating Create Crowd. But for the benefit of the listeners, and I'm sure by now they're thinking, Benji, what is this Create Crowd and what do they actually do? It's like, is that a space? Is that a crowd? What is it? So, in your own words, how would you term Create Crowd? What it does? What it is?
The easiest way to get your head around, because it isn't tricky. It is a freelancer platform that agencies, production houses, or clients can use to find you easily. I guess we have the desktop platform, website platform, and then also the app, which is specifically created with a busy agency producer in mind.
Yeah,
To be able to flick through all the categories that I know creative agencies and clients are looking for, and then direct through to, freelancer profiles. The thing that I do with Create Crowd is I keep a really close eye on all the submissions, and I do a good amount of stalking before I publish them live. I think just being in the industry for 10 years, you can get a pretty good sense of someone from portfolios and,
yeah,
I guess, their experience or show reels. Absolutely welcome everyone, but also, triage, the categories that they sit in, and make sure that cleanness, when agency or client jumps onto the app, they can find what they're looking for and go direct.
nice,
Yeah, so I'm not a middleman there. It's literally direct to freelancers. So
nice.
yeah,
I
that's
I like the fact that one of the biggest challenges for someone who wants to do this and starting to do it or wanting to do more of it is the acquisition of clients
mhm.
and being visible to those opportunities at the right time at the right place. Now, in the traditional world, many freelancers, not just creative freelancers, but a lot of them actually struggle when it comes to actually selling their services and where do they
Yeah.
start and
Yep.
how do they get the first client and yada yada yada. A lot of problems that just and many don't do because of the fear of not getting there. And I think you solving that first step in their journey, it's like if you're a creative, here is this shop where you can meet amazing opportunities. And for the people who want access to great freelancers, here's this place. You are handpicking them in a way.
Mm.
You are triaging them
Yep.
because that's really important because you are vetting them for their quality and for their credibility, so that you're maintaining the balance, which is important because you don't want it to be
Yeah.
a fully ungoverned.
Yes. That's it.
Yes.
I mean, I think, I have a few plans about categories down the line, but like I was saying earlier, I genuinely it takes a lot to not impress me. Everyone that comes through, I'm like, oh my god, this person's amazing
Yeah.
immediately, and I'm sure this is the case for a lot of people. I don't think but immediately, I go through my internal sort of database of who needs to know this person and how I can connect them. So the signing up and the getting on the platform really is the first step,
Okay.
and it's the
Is
easiest.
that free? Do I
That's
have to pay?
free. No,
It's
it's
free.
all free.
Okay. Nice.
So that's from there. There's opportunities that it just naturally comes. That's where I get really excited. So I have the Creative Lowdown newsletter that goes out every 2 weeks and just showcases 5 different freelancers.
Hey, by the way, you should read that newsletter. It's on LinkedIn, it's on Create Crowd. Wherever you go, it's following you. But I read the last one. It's really nice that you were featuring, amazing creative,
Yeah.
and that's an amazing way to showcase them, right? And I love it.
Yeah, well, that's my objective. I mean, people come in and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to put this person like everywhere. So behind the scenes, there's a lot of things that, I'm working on and have got going beyond what is there now that will be beneficial for freelancers,
Yep.
as part of the community. Everything is, done and run by me. So I'm a one-man show, so nothing sort of moves at the rate of knots behind the scenes,
Yeah.
but I absolutely love it. And the more traction the Create Crowd gets, the more, the more excited you get, and the more ideas kind of come into your mind about where you can go. So I'm excited about the next 12 months, that's for sure.
Nice. Just a slight disagreement with you there. I wouldn't think that Create Crowd is a one person show, right? Because from what we have experienced, Create Crowd, it's the community.
Well, I mean, that is
Yes,
true.
it's
It is
it's
actually
the
not.
power of yes.
And I think that's where it's kind of, you go, oh my gosh, no. The fortunate thing that I have in my back pocket is I actually have the most incredible, database of freelancers at my disposal. So when I say one-man show, I'm actually using freelancers all the time.
Yeah.
That are all signed up to Create Crowd for my own, marketing purposes, or if I need, user-generated content, or some writing, or that's so handy for me. And then I also get an experience of working with someone, and a lot of the freelancers that I have done work with directly with Create Crowd, I get to also go, oh my gosh, this person's great. So yeah, it's fun.
Nice. What are some of the other benefits does a member of your community or the platform get? So they obviously get access to be featured, they get access to high quality opportunities, they get access to be part of the community.
Yep.
What else is there?
Right now we have Create Crowd has been around for 18 months, and probably not yet 10 months ago it sort of got serious. I got the app and I was feeling really good about things. So right now everyone that comes in, and there's a slight backlog at the moment because we have quite a few new people on board, but everyone will get featured in the Creative Lowdown, which I mentioned before, and obviously shared social posts. There is something that I am working on now purely for the freelancer point of view, which is a bit more of a community drive. I'm working on ways to do that. Not quite ready to share what that is because I'm not sure exactly how it's going to play out, but that will be live in the next, I would say, 2 or 3 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. There's something exciting coming through.
Yeah.
I love when platforms think freelancer first, and there's so many platforms that have taken the other way around, where they come business first.
Yeah.
And they've got a wrong reputation over time. But increasingly, from MyGigsters partners and community, we have seen a lot of platforms who are doing the right thing by the freelancer, right thing by the gig worker. And it's so interesting and very inspiring to see young and growing companies who wanted to do the right thing for the right purpose rather than doing this for all the commercial reasons that are out there. So thank you. Really, really nice. Something that we are, for our listeners, like we wanted to announce that we are excited about our partnership with Create Crowd. MyGigsters love companies like this because I don't know, we when we say community, I'm like, I'm in.
Yep.
But something that I would love to. I'm definitely excited about a lot of things about this partnership with Create Crowd. But I'm gonna wanted to hear from you. What is something that you feel is excited about? This as us going together and supporting this crowd.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously we connect a couple of, well, actually maybe even coming up to 12 months ago now.
Yeah.
Since then have had lots of conversations, and I guess the exciting thing that for me is I think we're very aligned in the values. I think we have a really similar audience and similar objectives about the communities that we want to, encourage and support. So for me, being able to, I guess, of course, partner in a business sense, but also get to know you and Ashani, and I guess connect in a personal way is really exciting, because that's what I love to do with Create Crowd as well. I think, where our audiences are similar but our products are completely different, I'm really excited to be able to introduce MyGigsters in a bit more of a, deeper way to my community, who, if they're anything like me, shy away from too many sort of financial responsibilities. Because I think that it's so important, and even if it's something that you don't, a space that you don't feel comfortable in, which is certainly not for, in my case, you probably won't be able to survive if you don't set yourself up
Yep.
with good financial plan. And I think the things that MyGigsters are doing, relating to employer benefits and encouraging people to be mindful in the long term, is something we should all be doing.
Thanks. And just to pick your brain on the whole economy in this space, right?
Hmm.
And I've been told, I've told many that the word gig actually came from the creative industry. Um, Even these days, if you guys say I've got a gig, then you think you're a musician.
Hmm.
But the space has grown up so much. You can literally gigify any skill. You could be a pet sitter, you could be a game streamer, you can be a drone pilot. It's actually a thing that you can like drive drones and you can earn money out of it. I recently put a post out there which saying you can actually sleep and earn money. You could be a professional
Missed that
person.
post. I have
Yes,
to
you
go
can
back and
actually
read
sleep and earn some money. There are 10 ways to earn money by sleeping. By the way, if you're interested in that
it.
post, check out our
Uh,
communities. But the question is, such a really rapid, fast evolving space, and people are picking this up from every center and edge of this globe, trying to take this as a side hustle, main hustle, in between. But from your point as an up and growing community for creative freelancers, what do you see? What do you see? What's the future that you see in the space? What's going to happen?
Jeez, what's going to happen? Well, I think a lot is happening right now, and as we were sort of talking before we jumped on, I can't speak with pure confidence, but like everyone, I'm sort of keeping my eyes open at the AI platforms that are happening, and considering what impact that might have on freelancers, because a lot of creative freelancers will have to move with the times regarding that. But I think that what will possibly play out over the next couple of years maybe is that any AI tools become and remain a tool, but that community, human generated creative and content, and I guess, well, in any industry, will probably become more sought after, because I think that need for human connection will
Yeah,
never go away, and will only become more important over time. So yeah, I see that being an interesting thing to watch what happens over the next couple of years for sure.
I definitely see. There's a lot of there's a lot of anxious people around there when they see new AI tools coming out and like, oh, maybe it's will replace me,
Yeah.
replace us and the role that we do. I think the quicker you learn how to use these tools, the quicker you will adopt it
Hmm.
to make your work easier, faster, more skillful. And who knows, you might be able to be the special few who knows how to do this, and that could be an extra charge to your
Mm.
customers. So I see AI as a tool and that enables us to do certain things differently, faster, more efficient, and freelancers should embrace that. It's not going
So,
anywhere.
so yeah, I mean, I guess I think that, like, it's not the first time people have been about, so about, new tools and platforms coming out, but no, I definitely think that will, if you approach it the right way, and I guess work, with it and embrace it, the any way that you can leverage the fact that there's a human behind everything
Yep.
that you do will become an incredible benefit. And I think freelancers need to really kind of double down
Yes.
on the value they provide in not being just computer generated work.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Oh, nice. Nice. I can keep on going, but I think we want to pause this episode here because I definitely wanted to bring you back on the podcast for the second part of the story.
A wrap?
Okay,
Are
a
we gonna
wrap.
wrap?
Yeah, should have a wrap. But any final takeaways or anything that you would love to share with the MyGigsters listeners, to the community out there?
Oh,
Obviously,
I
go
mean,
check out createcrowd.com.au.
yeah,
But
thank you. Come and check
yes,
it out. Nothing other than if you're a freelancer out there, I guess make sure that you're connected to the community, and there's a lot of support from a lot of people. And I guess if you come across Create Crowd or MyGigsters or anyone, we are absolutely I can never say that word, championing
championing.
that kind of gig economy. So yeah, although there can be bumps in the road with work and relying on I guess a stream of income, you're not short of supporters and platforms and people that are willing to help you along the way. So yeah.
Nice. Hey, listeners, if you are one of those creative freelancers or even thinking about being one, I think you should definitely check out Create Crowd and join the community and be part of the community. There's amazing content, value, and it's free to just join. And there's, and it's amazing to be part of that group because I think community is a really amazing thing, and you get access to opportunities which will give you more income and more growth in your creative freelancing career. So why
Jump on
would you not
board.
try? Yeah, go on, try it. Go on, try it. And sorry, we'll put the link in the description so you can definitely check out the URL and we have mentioned it correctly. But other than that, you can also connect with Amy on our personal professional feeds in LinkedIn and wherever she is at. And she's a very welcoming and lovely person. So if you have a question or if you have a challenge, you can always reach out to her. And she's a popular star in Adelaide. So if you're in Adelaide, in any of the events, then you will see Amy. So we would love to congratulate you for all the efforts that you're doing.
Thank you.
But most importantly, you are in the radar.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you.
And we would love to keep on supporting what Creative Craft does. So
absolutely vice versa. So thank you.
Thank you. And for the listeners, if you have missed other exciting episodes, it's very easy. Just scroll down in your episode player and you will find other amazing episodes where we've got similar and exceptional stories like Amy in our podcast, and we'd love you to listen to it. And most importantly, if you don't know what we do at MyGigsters, it's time that you should go check out at mygigsters.com.au, or if you're wherever you are in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, just type in MyGigsters. We will pop in right in front of you, and we would love to have you on the community. Until then, I would say bye from Benjamin, and behind the scene we have Ishani producing, editing / all things magical with this podcast. Thank you. Bye-bye.